Paul Pellarini, I'm an accountant. I started in accounting in 1980. The firm is called Commercial Associates. It employs about 80 people in 3 offices, one here in the city, one in Parramatta and one in Penrith. I'm one of currently 6 partners, and it's a full service accounting firm. Put onto it by a person a lawyer actually, that is a friend of mine, and he used him, and I was having lunch with him, and when he told me about the fact that he was travelling business class through using points, and I had something like 1 million points available, I asked him how he's doing that, and he told me, and contacted Stephen, and we went on from there. Look, it's fantastic. As I mentioned, I had something like 1 million points, more than 1 million points actually. I'd been accumulating them over a number of years. I was always trying to use them by travelling business class, and every time I tried, I just couldn't get on. It was either too busy or not appropriate, or couldn't get the right flights. I looked at the possibility of using them by buying things that they encourage you to buy, but I found that I was paying way too much for them, so I couldn't even be bothered. And I really never thought I'd be able to use them. Then I came across iFLYflat and Steve, and I've already flown with them, and I find the whole experience very good. Well, what they do is they take the hassle out of it, right? I think that you can probably do it yourself, but I'm reasonably busy, and whenever I've tried, I've never been able to actually, after wasting a lot of time, I've never actually been able to get the flight that I wanted. Through Steve, instead, I give him a couple of options. I mean, the more options you give him, the better it is. But he has a team of people, from what I can gather, that simply, that is what they do. That is what they do all the time. And it works out well. I just simply give them the dates that I would like to travel on. They come back and they tell me what is available, how many points are needed, and usually it's a very good deal. Well, I just enjoy it more. Obviously, it's far better to travel in business class. I actually have the money to travel business class anyway. The only thing is that because of the cost, whenever it came to actually paying for the ticket, $8,000 or $9,000 instead of $2,000, I just couldn't bring myself to do it. Now instead, it's not painful. I pay a little bit for the service. It probably ends up costing a little bit less than what an economy ticket would cost overall, and accumulating the points. I'm not silly. I know that there is a cost to accumulating the points, but the thing is, it's like putting something away in the piggy bank, and then when you actually come to use them, it's not painful. It doesn't. You don't get this feeling that I'm spending $6,000–7,000 for getting a slightly better meal, a little bit better service, and a reasonable sleep. It's just not worth $6,000–7,000 if you have to pay it that way. But when you're actually accumulating it as you go, it's a little bit painless, and I don't mind doing it. Yes, well, my wife travels with me. I have also travelled with my stepdaughter once, and they think it's fantastic. They don't know the full, exactly how it all works, but they enjoy the travelling first or business class. You can travel both business class or first class. They give you the choice of both. Well, it's extremely easy. What you do is you send an email off advising where you're going, and obviously you're limited. I'm not too sure, but I think you're limited to a number of airlines, but quite a few of them. And you just tell them when you want to go, you give them dates. As I said, try to be flexible, try to give them 2 or 3 days either side, or perhaps even a different schedule. I'm never sure how to mention that, but anyway, even a different schedule. And they'll come back with options. So it's pretty painless because they do all the work. They go on apparently every day. I'm not sure how it works, but he's got a team of people for sure, because I've actually had emails come back from a number of different people, and they're all very easy to deal with. They're very friendly, and they're prompt and polite, and they come back pretty quickly with a series of choices. I'm probably travelling at the same cost, or a little bit lower, than for an economy airfare. So I guess I'm saving $6,000, $6,000 to $7,000 on each flight to Europe. But then again, of course, there's a cost, because in accumulating the points, you actually have to pay a cost. I've never really bothered to try to work that out, but I'm sure that the cost, let's say for example on a $7,000 flight, on a $7,000 saving, let's say that the cost is half of that, you're still saving $3,000 or $4,000. Well, I would suggest that they at least look into it. If they're the same as me, they'd like to travel business class, are unwilling to pay or to go through the rigmarole that they have to go through personally to try to do it. As I've said, I've never been able to actually travel business class by using the points when I tried to do it. It just took too long. It took too long, it was too cumbersome, and it was impossible to really coordinate. But now it's easy to do, and I would definitely recommend people to look into it. You save yourself money, you get good value for your business points, and if you're like me that accumulate a lot of business points, then that's a good way of doing it, if you like to travel. So far everything is working the way that I would like it to work, so I've got no complaints at all.